doors down, and that's the only way you knew there was anything upstairs, was by this little wooden sign by the front door. It was painted by a friend of the owner. You can see the Green Mermaid. That's where I played. Upstage Club considered the Green Mermaid, and they called the third floor. A lot of people called the third floor the Upstage Club and the coffee house. Really, the whole thing was an Upstage Club. So when they opened, there was a coffee house only, but they had dancing and a band, and then they got the third floor open a year later.
Personal tour, yeah.
This is great.
Cool.
Your own history guide.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here's Southside acting crazy on stage with a beach ball. There you go. There's a Parkway sign converted to Jukes. And then John singing with somebody I don't know. Andy York. I don't know. But here's my old buddies. You know, these three guys drove with me to see Bonnie Raitt opening for Muddy Waters.
Oh, really?
In a basement
Wow.
in Greenwich Village.
Oh, sweet.
Basement.
Yeah.
Little tiny cafe. Well, the four of us rode up in my old Chevy. We lived down here by the boardwalk. And picked up Bruce because these two guys were already living there. And I drive into New York. Now a lot of people didn't have the balls to do that. Well, I knew how to get around the village. So I drove into Greenwich Village. I knew where to park. Didn't even have to pay for parking, right? Just a few blocks away. We go trudging in, and Johnny's going, how the hell are we going to get in this place? There's a line down the street. I said, John, don't worry, I already called in. He says, oh, get that bullshit. He was giving me a hard time. He always did. So I said, no, you'll see. I go up to the box ups. I go, 4 for Tellone. And they go, oh, yeah, right this way. We go to the front.
Oh, yeah,
It's
sweet.
on the front table. And here's Bonnie Raitt. And we're going, whoa, isn't she cool?
Right, because how old was she?
She was like 21.
Yeah, wow.
I'm like 19, and
Wow.
Stevie's going, oh, I love this woman. She's playing slide guitar just like me.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Nobody knew who she was. She opened for Muddy Waters. She had a National Steel guitar.
Right,
Playing
yeah.
slide,
Yeah.
Rizophonic. So we're just drooling over her, you know, having a couple of drinks. And, you know, they're joking around. Look, see these faces?
Right.
They're telling each other jokes. On stage, nobody knows what they're laughing about because they're goofing with each other.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing at the front table. Okay, so she does her thing. And she could, I think she realized, I don't know if she realized, she probably did, that we were just like staring at her like, wow, so we love this woman. And so Muddy Waters comes on, you know, he's bad. He comes out, he's got the processed hair. This was in 71, I think.
Right, yeah.
And man, he had the gold suit and the telly with the lipstick tube slide on the
Right,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And he's up there, and he's got all these dudes with like, they had vests and nice shirts and dressed really nice. Squeezed into this little basement with drums and everything. Had 2 rhythm guitars and a piano player. Pine Top Perkins was playing piano.
Yeah.
These guys are going at it. He's just up there, you know, I'm a man. So these guys were there with me, and I gave them the show of their life. Because I knew how to get around Greenwich Village, because in high school I used to found out you could call any coffee house or any kind of show place and get reservations. Most people didn't know that. They just go stand in line and hope to get in.
Right, yeah.
I'd reserve a week ahead of time. Get in early. And a lot of times I got front. And if I had, especially if I had 4 or more people, they'd always put big groups right up front. We're like,
Right,
"What?"
yeah.
We saw Cream when the first tour in a basement in Greenwich Village in the front. Wow.
Wow,
Who
sweet.
does that? I don't know how I managed to do this, but I was just a tenacious little teenager. And
You were Tellone, that's why.
No fear.
So, yeah, that's my old buddies. And
Fear.
so, yeah, that's my old buddies. And here Johnny doing his thing. Oh, 2 years ago, now me and Trevor showed up. They had this music on the west side. West side of the tracks was the home of, you know, black music, soul music, all the doo-wop, amazing vocal groups, you know, harmony. So they had this special, the library was a gross. Somebody, historical people, put together this music thing at the Wonder Bus. And our friend Vinny Lopez, the drummer, was hired to play drums for them. So Vinny says to me, Al, I need you to come down, help me move the drum. So I was on a boardwalk with an old friend of mine, and I met him there, and he gave me this tag, lanyard. He says, come on, you're my roadie for tonight.
Oh,
so I
sweet.
helped him move the drums in, and he was hurting. His back was killing him. So my buddy Monty helped me move it in. He said, Al, I got to go. My wife's waiting for me. I said, oh, come on, you got to stay. He said, no. So what happens later on, Springsteen shows up, and he goes on stage and jams with the soul doo-wop guys, and they're doing, what's that song? What's your name? Do-do-do. Is it Mary or Sue? You ever heard that song?
Yeah.
He's singing that, and these other guys are doing all this great backup on it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Nicky goes, and now Vinny Lopez, Johnny Be Good, and Bruce starts going, no, and Vinny starts singing from the drums. I said, this is like Upstage.
Wow.
This
Right.
is like, these
Turned it into your place.
So they had a big conference at the Lutheran Church auditorium, and this guy was talking about the music on the west side, and John was invited. Bruce pulled up on his motorcycle because he knew John was going to be there. And he's just sitting in the back, and they're going, what the hell is he doing here? And finally John said, hey Bruce, come on up. So he joined the discussion, and he started talking about how the best way to, he learned that the best way to make the girls pay attention to his band was to sing a slow tune or a sexy tune so they could dance close together. Instead of always jamming.
Right.
He said, I learned a few tricks from these guys. He said,
That's actually on my YouTube.
yeah.
He tells the story.
She was right in front of
I
the
was right in
stage.
front of him.
There's a really good YouTube video about it.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was standing a little further back because I got caught in the pack. I couldn't get out to the front where Rose was because they
Oh yeah,
punched in and she was pushed, she was pinned against the stage.
Yeah. That was all right. He was right
Because
there.
earlier tonight, you and me and Deb were there and everybody's mingling and she took some good shots of us. And, you know, that was fun and I tried to come back out. Forget it.
Yeah,
Bruce was on stage
Packed.
going, ah!
He was sold out.
But to
Yeah.
see him-
Before they
see him
knew
in
he
the
was going to
bar.
be there.
Right.
So cool because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is cool. This is like down to earth. This is not
Ultimate setting.
big shit concert. You know, this is just happy fun.
Yeah.
So that, you know, geez, this is all Southside. You know, when he started out, Stevie Van Zandt and him were in a band called the Blackberry Booze Band, not blues.
Oh yeah.
Blackberry Booze Band, because get it, these guys were like a bunch of hippies that lived in this place called the Reservation. It was an old farm in Long Beach that had never been developed. It was supposed to stay like a farm. So they rented this house and they used to have jams there. They formed a band eventually, but they drank a lot of blackberry brandy, so they called it the Blackberry Booze Band. So they didn't want to be called a blues band, but they did play a lot of blues. And at one point, Southside Johnny as a harmonica player. Not a singer, not a... Well, you know, he was playing the harp more in the early days and singing. He sang some, but Stevie sang a lot. So Stevie joined the band a little bit later, and he wasn't playing with Bruce at the time, just at the time. He had been touring with Dion or somebody like that. And so John, he's out of work. John says, hey, you know, we talked to the guys. They said, Stevie? Yeah, we'll have him in the band. Yeah, but they didn't know. Stevie goes, hey, you know, I'm bored. After a few months, he said to Johnny, hey, why don't we, let's try something different. Let's get Kevin, the keyboard player, and I don't think he was in the band yet. But he said, let's rehearse some new material that you sing, and then we'll start a new band and tell the guy, look, you can be in this new band if you want to be.
This is Stevie Van Zandt?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He pulled a coup.
Right.
He took the band, he became the head of the band, like, because the other guys were like such stoners that they just were like overwhelmed, and he was a dynamic personality. He said, come on, you guys, now look, we got this great thing, Johnny's going to sing, la 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 la, because Kevin told me, hey, we're rehearsing for this new band, we're gonna change the name. Southside Johnny, Asbury Jukes, and the other guys were like, what? The bass player stayed, Popeye was with him, he stayed, the drummer, but the bass player quit after a while, and then Al Berger joined him. And then they had some horns, but they had to play for the Door at the Stone Pony on Sunday night, Thursday night, because that was the only way they could make a little money.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody was even, you know, they weren't anything yet.
Right. Yeah.
So he commandeered the group. Eventually, the original members just about all quit except the drummer. and it got bigger and bigger, and then it became Southside and the big Jukes band. They started having 3 horns, and there's my buddy Kevin on the piano. You know, it just goes on and on and on with all these different things. And here's a video.